Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Cheeseman. This is episode 126, and this is where you can learn about cheese making at home and ask your questions, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to answer them all for you. Okay, what do we got? First of all, let's say thank you to a new patron, John Gowan, I think that's how you pronounce it. Thank you, Thank you, John, for your patronage, and thanks to all the patrons and YouTube members who support the show financially week on week. It's fantastic. Lots of people here in the chat, but we've got a bit of news about Kim. She's having her operation on Wednesday, so there'll be no live chat on Wednesday. I'm going to schedule one for Saturday, but we'll see how things go. If it doesn't happen, I'll just have to reschedule it. We'll see how that goes. The Saturday after, she'll be in recovery, so I'll be looking after, so there won't be a show on the Saturday. But the week after, hopefully that'll all be good. I'll just watch the schedule. Just make sure you check the live page to see when the next live stream is and click the little reminder notice. I think there is. Just check that out over the next couple of weeks. It's a little bit trying for Kim and I, we'll see how we go. Anyway, let's get on with the cheese. As far as the latest video, the Mead, great reception. I'm really impressed that so many people liked it. For those who haven't seen it, go and check out the channel and have a look at the Mead video. The honey wine, it tasted amazing, and then what always gets me about YouTube is that as soon as the initial flurry of people watching it die down, then you get the experts come along and tell me how to make mead. Fantastic. I love their advice and all that sort of stuff, but it was how I made mead, not how you make mead. So that, got on me goat a little bit. But anyway, as far as the video for this weekend, I haven't actually started producing anything due to circumstances beyond my control. But we'll get something up for the weekend, and we'll see how we go. Anyway, let's get in and say some hellos. The first cab off the rank was Ruth, and thank you, Ruth. I know you're not watching it live, but g'day in the replay, and thank you very much for your kind $10 US super chat. Now, you got some questions here. Can one get eye formation with sheep and goat's milk? Yeah, definitely. I've seen sheep and goat's milk cheeses with eye development, so that's fine. And can sheep and goat's milk be used for cheeses that stretch? Yep, you get the pH right and they'll stretch, no problems at all. It's not. You got to remember that normal mozzarella, traditional mozzarella in Italy, is mainly made with buffalo's milk, so that's actually even fattier than has a higher fat content than what sheep and goats have, which is actually higher than cow's milk. So yeah, it should be right. And I remember you sent through a picture of the saffron infused cheese that you made, Ruth. It looked fantastic. Thank you very much for that. You're mad about saffron. Yes, I can remember Mellow Yellow back in the 70s. Great song. G'day to Bruce. G'day to Alex. G'day to Manel. Matthew, hello. How are you, mate? Imad, I think that's how you say it. I can't understand Arabic, so please use English. I'll be here translating every day, all day. Bob and Barb Kennel. G'day, Bob and Barb. How are you? John, lovely to see you, mate, all the way from sunny San Francisco. Patricia, all the way from Nova Scotia in Canada. Thank you, Patricia. And thanks for the lovely review you did the other day on the blue cheese culture, I believe, on the website. John says thumbs up. Yeah, it'd be lovely if people could give the stream a bit of a thumbs up. That would be lovely. That'll make YouTube show it to more people on the replay. Kangamoo, g'day, how are you? And Dominic, g'day, mate. I'll get to your question in a sec. Gladys, hello. Larry from Deep South Texas. Colin, g'day, mate. Who else? Where am I? Alex? No, have I said Alex? G'day, Alex. Sadie, I think that is how you pronounce it. Kevin, Lysdog, John Salt, another Kevin, no, same Kevin. That's about it. Oh, Charles, Colt Nino, Saintsbury. Okay, so let's get into the Ask the Cheeseman part of the show, shall we? So the second question is from Bob and Barb. Says, hey Gavin, I'm getting ready to make Crescenza and fake camembert. Any tips or anything I should look out for when making these two? I'm making fresh yogurt right now to use in the Crescenza. The Crescenza, let me think. Yeah, turn it often. Make sure, I know it's just in the normal kitchen fridge, but turn it. Make sure that make sure that doesn't stick to the bottom, because as the geo kicks in and starts to grow, you'll find that you may get some of the mold stick to the bottom of the mat. So just be careful of that. So turn it, every couple of days. As far as fake camembert, yeah, I actually and there'll be a video coming out about it soon. I used raw milk, the cold pressed raw milk, to make the fake camembert, or the stabilized paste camembert. And I found that it went way too hard too quickly. I actually overstirred it. The curds were way too dry. It actually turned very yellow, and it was a bit like cheddar, of all things. So maybe don't use raw milk for the stabilized paste version of camembert. That's just my initial observations. If you're going to use, I think it's more designed for pasteurized, unhomogenized milk. So any heat-treated milk. Well, not any heat-treated milk, so don't use ultra-pasteurized or UHT. But, yeah, so pasteurized, unhomogenized milk works best for the stabilized paste camembert. They're my main hints, main tips. I think they turned out, and just make sure that you don't brine the fake camembert as long as I did. Remember, I think I said 6 hours in the video. Just cut that down to 3 and it should be all good. Okay. Gladys says, good afternoon. Do you know how to make queso de mano? It is a delicious cheese from Venezuela. I actually don't know how to make that. I'll do some investigation. I dare say I'll probably get lots of videos from Venezuela. And I'll have to translate and all that. But I'll have a look, see if I've got some time on my hands to check it out. I haven't seen a recipe per se in any of the recipe books that I use, so there's nothing that comes to hand straight away. Okay. Dominic says, good morning, Gav. Trying to make some St. Marcelin style cheese with goat's milk. Can bad geo make my cheese sponge like heat contamination? Sounds like you've got a dose of the early blown cheese, Dominic. Usually around the stage when after you cut the curds and put into molds, it goes very sponge-like. It's contaminated by a bacteria called coliform, if I remember rightly. Or it can be yeast contamination. So don't eat it. It's not good for you. I would throw it right now. It really means that the milk was infected. Nothing to do with the cultures you're using or the molds. It's the milk itself. So next time I would pasteurize the goat's milk, and that'll kill off that bacteria. So that's a bit of an issue. Anyway, best of luck next time, Dominic. Where's the next question? Alex has a question and says, if making camembert, with mushrooms, when and how would you add the mushrooms? Fresh, dried, or powdered? Ooh. Okay, I wouldn't add fresh. Too much liquid. And it may go a little bit rancid. So I have seen people use truffles, and basically they shave the truffles, or use truffle powder. And when they add it, and dried mushrooms will be the same. So use dried mushrooms or powder. You can powder them up with a mortar and pestle. So when you're putting the camembert into the basket, so like 3/4 fill it, and then put a layer of the mushrooms in, and then fill the rest of the basket. And then, as you've seen many times, I have to keep refilling to get all the stuff in there to make them compress down. So that's probably the best way to do it, and you'll have a nice mushroomy flavour, or if you use truffles, then a truffle flavour all the way through your cheese. So best way to do it, Alex. Thanks for your question, mate. Saidi, oh, I think that's it. Sadi. Sorry, I'll say that. Sadi, from Istanbul, and hopes everything is well with me and Kim. Thanks, mate. I think I just gave an update, so that's good. And also goes on to say, have you made blue Davine? Oh, I can't even pronounce that. My French is shocking. Would love a recipe. I'll see if I can find one. I'm not sure if I have any in the books. And I'll see if I can find something. Anyway, let's get on with that. Kevin says, in Canada, the cream is 33% fat and has cellulose gel, carrageenan, and cellulose gum. Can this be used to add to milk that requires a higher fat content? I wouldn't put any of those things in my cheese. You'll tend to find that the rennet probably won't work properly if you use all those cellulose gums and stuff that are in cream. I avoid thickened cream. Here in Australia, it's called thickened cream. It's about 33%, same sort of thing. And I avoid it like the plague, because I did use it once and the milk just didn't set. So now I use pure cream, so it's just cream. Whatever the thickness, as long as it's not too thick, it's got to be able to pour it into the milk. Can't plop it in there. Got to be able to pour it, or it won't combine with the milk. So you're just going to have to find some, Kevin. You can't have any of that gum in there. It just doesn't set the milk. John says 158,000 who hates cheese. They aren't here. Yeah, indeed. In fact, YouTube is actually having a bit of a purge this weekend, I think, and getting rid of spam accounts and stuff like that. Hopefully I haven't got too many subscribed. So we're sitting at about, I think it's 158,500 something. So it'll be fine. Okay. Alex says, we'll be thinking of you, Kim. Take care of each other and forget the show until you're ready. I'm sure we have enough cheese to survive, but don't make it too long. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Where else we got? John Salt says, hi, Gavin. Currently maturing a Kafili. It looked a bit colourful when I checked it. Wiped the mould off with brine. Wondering if there are any coloured moulds that would make you think the cheese is spoiled. No, if you keep them all at bay, they should be right. Naturally, natural rind cheeses tend to have some funky moulds on them. Black is the worst of all the moulds, and then pink mould kind of follows it. Pink mould makes it go really acidic, and it's not so good. So black mould's the worst. Sorry, the worst. And the pink mould's not so good either. So if you see those start growing in your cheese, then get them off with a brine straight away. They won't affect the cheese. Kafili is a very colourful sort of cheese when you're giving it a natural rind. So just keep at it. It's only 3 weeks. It'll be fine. The outside rind will be quite firm, and the inside paste is absolutely soft, creamy, delicious. It's just amazing. So, John, you should be fine there, mate. Kevin said, how did I get the orange segments out of the carboy afterwards? Okay, so talking about the mead, you know what I did, Kevin? I turned it upside down. The first one fell out because it had shrunk in size. The next one, the little end bits poke out, so I just grabbed them and pulled them out. They came out quite easily. Just give it a bit of a shake, comes out easy as pie. So I think I had lots of people worrying about how I got the oranges out of the demijohn when I made the mead. Anyway, cool. Kangaroo says, YouTube experts. The more popular become, the more unsolicited advice you get. Yeah, I'll just not worry about it next time, I don't think. But I've stopped reading the comments on the mead, so yeah, let them go for it now. They can do whatever they like. John says that blue cheese recipe. Google it. There's a New England cheese making video. Okay. Looks like a blue camembert. Okay, I'll go there. New England cheese making supplies. I'll go and check them out. Thank you, mate. Charles says, hi, Gavin. I'm using raw milk only. So my question is, how should I adjust culture portions? Most recipes are for pasteurized milk. Thanks. Charles, so use a little bit less rennet. You won't need to use any calcium chloride at all. So that's another adjustment. As far as cultures go, I would still add the same amount. You're trying to get the cheese to represent something that's commercially available. Now, using raw milk, yes, it does have its own lactic bacteria within it, but is it the lactic bacteria that you want to present the flavor that you're after when you're making the cheese? So, you may need to. So the culture portions I would use exactly the same. So I wouldn't adjust the cultures at all. Just when you're stirring the cheese, I know raw milk tends to expel whey really quickly, which is a good thing, right? So just when you're stirring the curds, just make sure that they don't shrink too much compared to, say, the video that I'm using. Or you may have some trouble when pressing. But they're the only real adjustments, I would say. Other than that, you'll get a fantastic tasting cheese with lots of different flavors than what, say, pasteurized milk would have. It'll just taste better. Okay, Colt Nino says, I tried to make ricotta last night using your recipe, using the same milk and citric acid as the last 4 times, but this time it didn't curdle. What happened? Don't know. Wasn't there, unfortunately. If it worked 4 times before and then didn't work once, then even though you think the milk's the same, depends on if it's store bought or not. If it's raw milk that you're using, then it depends on the period. Depends on the stage of the lactation of the animal as well, on how much fat and protein are in the milk. It's best to get it when the cow first starts lactating, because as they start to dry up, there's not as many milk solids in there. But really, it should have worked. I don't know. Maybe you'd have to check how much citric acid you used and all that sort of stuff, but don't know. Can't really help. Sorry, Occult Nino. John says, all good thoughts for Kim. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Saintsbury says, what's the longest aged cheese you have currently? Well, in the cheese fridge, I checked the other day when I do my weekly turnings, and in there is some Pecorino Romano. So I think I made that in 2016, 2017, maybe. Not sure. I know it was more than a year ago. So it's probably nearly 2 years old now. So a Pecorino Romano made with sheep's milk. In the Romano style. And I'll tell you what, when I first tried it at 1 year, it was absolutely fantastic. So it must be going on to about 2 years now. So the flavour would have intensified, something shocking. So I'm very excited about that. I'll be trying. In fact, that's a damn fine video to whip up this weekend. Good Pecorino. I'll make some pasta or something too. Pecorino Romano. Okay, groovy. So that's what I'll do this weekend. Is I'll do a pecorino romano taste test, um, and I'll shave it over some pasta. In fact, I wouldn't mind making some pasta. What have I got on? Oh, not much. It depends on if I get the milk delivered. I've asked for some milk from our local dairy supplier, and I haven't got a reply back yet. So don't know if I'm making cheese this week, and I hope to. It'll be a fairly simple one. I don't really have too much time next week, as you know, to nurse the cheese through whatever stage it needs to go through. But yeah, I think that'll be nice. Who would like to see me make pasta? I got my own chooks. We've got eggs. I got some flour in the cupboard somewhere, and yeah, pasta's very simple to make. But who would like me to see that cook it and put my own pecorino romano on top? So just let me know in the chat. I'll see how many say anything, and we'll go from there. Anyway, Livestock said, can you use marigold powder instead of saffron for a saffron infused cheese? Oh, not sure. I don't think the flavour will be the same, mate. It's not about the colour, it's about the flavour with saffron. Kevin said, just finished making little bears on Sunday and have turned for 2 days, so now hopefully will work out well. There's a little check you can do, Kevin, when if you take one out of the mould, you've done it for 2 days now, they should be quite firm. If they feel firmish, then that's good. They're ready to go to the next stage, and you've got enough way out, and it's solid enough that it won't sag and go into a little flat pancake. That's the problem with camemberts if you don't turn them enough initially, and then they're probably ready for salting or brining by now. If you see that after brining, they start to bulge on the sides quite prominently, then make sure that you pop them back in the molds and maybe leave them for another day. Anyway, but yeah, good question. Well, more of a statement, Kevin, I suppose, but hopefully that'll help you out, mate. Manel says, when the last episode I asked you about liquid cheese, you told me as American cheese, can you do a tutorial on how to make liquid cheese as craft? Yeah, I can do a cheese sauce. That sounds good. Cheese sauce. A very nice cheese sauce, anyway. Yeah, I can do that. I think I've got some pieces of cheese that I'll probably never get around to eating in the fridge somewhere. So, Manel, I'll whip that up. Don't expect too much over the next couple of weeks, though. Toluvian, I think that's how you say it. Have you ever tried UMAI dry vacuum bags? They are used to dry age meat in the fridge. They let moisture out and air to breathe. I wonder if they will work with cheese, make it less moist. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never used them. UMAI dry vacuum. I'll have to have a look and see what people's recommendations are on them. I've never used them myself. But yeah, good question. Thanks for that. Alex says, don't seem to get some of the cheese's right texture, such as the creaminess of Havarti or the softness of Edam. Why? I follow the recipes exactly. Raw milk. There you go. Oh, right. So raw milk, yeah, use a little bit less rennet, because if you find that the cheeses are far too hard or solid, then yeah, way too much rennet. Raw milk doesn't need as much. I'd reduce it by 10 to 20% even, based on the recipes that I have for pasteurised milk. Remembering pasteurised, homogenised, or pasteurised unhomogenised, any heat treated milk still takes a fair bit of rennet to set it, unlike raw milk, which kind of sets on a dime. Couple of drops and it sets, it seems to anyway. That's my experience from using the cold pressed raw milk that I've been using lately. The amounts of rennet that I've had to use is just minimal to get the same sort of texture and stuff. So, yeah, less rennet, mate. Alex says more cream. Yeah, you could. Yeah, more fat content would help with the creaminess as well. But yeah, I think less rennet. Kevin says, just bought a Quebec cheese called Le what? Oh, Kevin, you've got me hanging here, man. Where are we? now I've lost my place. There it is. There's a le. And Kevin's trying to say it somewhere. Oh, Le Fin Renard. Right. It is lactose free and tastes exactly like Port Salut and is surface ripened with bee linens. It is amazing. Oh, okay. I'll have a look. Sounds interesting. Especially my daughter would probably like that. Not to say that I wouldn't like it. Renard. Be very interesting to see what they do. They probably add lactase at some stage. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Next question is from Matthew, I think. Matthew says, are all bee linens cheeses super stinky? I bought some Munster this weekend and it smelt like hell on earth. Any less stinky bee linens cheeses you could recommend? No, they're all fairly stinky. One that didn't smell as much was Tilsit, because Tilsit's used making a thermophilic culture, not a meso like, say, Munster is. So it actually, the paste is a lot firmer. The Belins doesn't get a hold of the rind and make it as funky. So that one's a little bit less smelly, but I tell you what, all the Beelinens cheeses that I make, and I haven't got any of the culture at the moment either, either personally or on our website. Our supplier just doesn't have any, because I'd love to make some more. But yeah, they smell a lot. They open the fridge, and I tell you what, it's like somebody opened their lunchbox with a stinky egg inside. So yeah, there's no way to less stink with bee linens, unfortunately. Okay. Alex says, thanks for answering my question. No problems, mate. That's what I'm here for. John says, quit typing, then chewing some cheese. You're making me hungry. Travis, I hate milk. Oh, okay, fair enough. But I also love it. Same the cheese. What? I'll start again. I hate milk, but also love the same with cheese. I'm going to make that triple pepper jack. Give it a go, Travis. It's a shame you hate milk, because milk is nice. Raw milk is best. It's fantastic. What have we got? Amtech Systems, fan from Pakistan. Love your videos. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Patricia says, Kevin, check out organic food stores for cream that is carrageenan free and other stabilizers. That's where I found some in Halifax. There you go. Yep. Go to the organic food store. They won't have all the gunk in it. Might be a little bit more expensive, Kevin, but yeah, good suggestion, Patricia. Thank you so much. Belquineth, I think that's how you say it. It sounds from Wales. Oh, no, Indonesia. I was going to say from Wales then, but anyway, just saying you are my inspiration. Regards from Indonesia. Thanks very much. Gladys says hello from Texas. I think we said hello to you already, Gladys. Alex says, any Cambenzola cheese recipe? Yes. Alex, if you go back and have a look, there was the, what did I call it? Cam Blue, same thing. Mine wasn't as camembert-ish as it should be, but I think a lot of people have had success with the recipe. I don't quite know what I did. I think I might have neglected it for the first week. But I'll tell you what, it was one of the best little blue cheeses that I've ever made. So, very nice. But yeah, go and check it out. Cam Blue, there's a recipe. Kimmy, if you can put a link up if she hasn't already, for Alex, in case he just missed it there. Manel says, when you press an air dry cheddar cheese at room temperature, what is the normal range for the room temperature? I think a lot of people, when they say room temperature, it's about 21 degrees Celsius. That's a fairly good rule of thumb as far as room temperature goes. If you're air drying cheese normal, even in summer, sometimes our kitchen gets up to about 30 degrees Celsius, and really the air drying times are very quick in summer because the whey seems to go fairly fast, and your cheese is fairly air dry. What you've got to worry about is the cheese drying out, and that's a bit of an issue. So 21 degrees Celsius is usually what they call room temperature. But yeah, in summer it just dries a little bit quicker. In winter, a little bit slower as far as My climate goes here anyway. Kevin says I'm typing and holding a dog at the same time. Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. Let's check out. See what Holly's doing. Hang on, there she is. Here's my dog, Kevin. Holly's sleeping. Hey, Holly. 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 Nope. She don't care. She's just sleeping. All right. But yeah, that was for your dog, for my dog, Kevin. And Teddy's in the other bed over here somewhere down there. I haven't got a camera for Teddy. Leonardo says, hi, everyone. Gavin, is Grana-style cheeses like Grana Padano? Yes. I tried a Grana style that had 18 months, and it is completely different. Could be just time. Could be. The longer it ages, the better it tastes, or the sharper it tastes, those Grana-style cheeses. So, yeah, that's cool. Music is Rainbow says, what's the best cheese to make for a beginner? I think Kim's put up some links there for you. Gladys says, hello, teacher. Do you know how to make queso mano? I think you've already asked me that. I've put it on the list, so we'll have a look, Gladys. Chambray24 says, hi, I'm a new subscriber to your channel. I've been interested in making my own cheese, but don't have a cheese cave in Wisconsin. Chambray24, Kim's just put up a link, a couple of lines below, that says beginner's cheese list with no cheese cave. So get stuck into that. So yeah, that'll be good. Matthew says, a pasta video sounds good, Gav. John says, sounds good. We'll love you see you make pasta, Chambray. Kim says, yum, homemade pasta. I love making pasta. It's good. Bruce says, yep, make pasta. +1 for pasta. I think pasta's a go, personally. Where else? That guy, Bat, says, are you working on another batch of Mead? Yeah, I will be. I actually got an orange, I think. Did I get some oranges, Kim? I think I did. Yeah, so, yep, I'm going to be making some more of the same, using different honey. Same recipe, though, because I don't really want to jinx it. I'm going to, when I get some time, I'm going to go to a home brew shop, or just maybe I'll order online. There's a yeast I want to try that will give it a bit of a drier taste and a higher alcohol content. Not that I'm into high alcohol drinks or anything like that. D47 by somebody. I was looking at, there's a YouTube channel that I've been watching, different meads and stuff like that. They're really into it. It's called City Stead Brewers. What's the guy's name? A guy, a couple. Can't remember their names. Anyway, they're from the US. They do some great brewing videos, so I'm pretty cool on that. So City Stead Brewers, I think it's called, is the name of the channel. And yeah, they make lots of meads and stuff there. But they're using this yeast called D47 or something. But if anybody knows, then let me know. I'll have to go back to their channel and have a look. But there's a yeast. I think it's pretty hard to get here in Australia, but it's apparently the mead yeast to get and get stuck into it. Even though there's lots of yeasts, but yeah. John says, there is a YouTube America's Test Kitchen about Parmesan, Grana Padano, sold 1 to 2 years, 4 to 5 years, and up to 8 to 10 years. The granddaddies are a total sensory experience, like having a Napoleon 16th century cognac. Yeah, thanks for that link too, John. That was, I checked it out. The guy, I can't remember what the guy's name, but he's a pretty good presenter. I'm really impressed with it. John says, make some cheese pasta. Yeah, I could make some, not tortellini. What have I got? I've got a machine that does, what's it called? Ravioli. Yeah, do some cheese stuffed ravioli. That'll be nice. Livestock says, yellow marigold is known as poor man's saffron. I might try with camembert or a kefili. Yeah, try with a kefili, mate. You'll get a quick result. So, yeah. Kim says, now that's a great suggestion, John. Cheese pasta. Yep, cool. Safflower is a good substitute for saffron. There you go. I actually do have lots of saffron, not saffron, what's it called? Safflower petals, but God, they stink. It smells like, gone off tobacco. Very colourful, but yeah, they do smell a lot. Alex says, tried to super chat you, but it didn't work. Oh, sorry that, mate. Don't know what's going on. I haven't even got a little dollar symbol on mine, so I can't even pretend to super chat. But thanks, Alex, anyway, for the thought. But yeah, all right, cool. Tuvalan said the same thing they did before. If you want to see the bags, the YouTube channel Sous Vide Everything has used them several times to age meat. All right, I'll check that out. Okay, there's a gold star for somebody. This is for Jim Jackson. Oh, and there goes the Curd Nerd light. It's all happening here. All right, lovely. Thank you, Jim. And Jim has donated $5. Thank you very much. Greetings, Sir Gavin, Madam Kim. Great to learn at the feet of the King and Queen of the Curd Herd. And thanks for the Mead video as well. You're most welcome, mate. That Mead video, by the way, took so long to edit. I don't know what went. It's not what went wrong. I've just switched over to some new editing software, which I'm getting used to. Adobe Creative Cloud Premiere Pro, which is a whole new level. My goodness, there's so many things to learn. I thought editing was simple. It's not. With this software, it's. I'll say this thing: it's stable. It doesn't crash like the old stuff I was using. I was using what's it called? Cyberlink Power Director, and every 5 minutes I put a transition into the video. You know, where it like fades to different clips. And it'd crash, and the whole computer would crash. Not the software, the whole PC would crash. Cats and dogs living together. It's horrible. Anyway, so I'm using Premiere Pro, and it's just taking me a lot longer to produce a video. That Mead one, I was learning as I went along, and it was just so taxing, I suppose. Well, there's another super chat. Thank you so much. Let's just grab that. Who's that from? Let's have a look. There should be a lucky star in a minute. Colt Nino says, my cheese kit has arrived from Australia. Thanks, Gav. No problems at all. Thank you very much, Colt Nino. I'm glad it got there safely, and get stuck into it. It'll be great. Alrighty. Back to the questions. Oh, and there's your gold star. There you go. Thank you so much for your super chat. Next question is, Chrissy says, having difficulty aging my Swiss Tome cheese. After 4 weeks, the surface feels a bit yeasty and has brown spots. Was it too humid? I am washing brine and vinegar 2 times a week. Those brown spots with Tome are typical of that cheese. It grows this brown mold all over it. Very similar to Gruyere. Does the same sort of thing. And if it doesn't feel a bit yeasty, it feels a bit tacky. Is that probably the right word? I know in my experience, when I made Tome, same thing, very tacky cheese. But it seems to go away as it dries out more anyway. So keep persevering. I think it'll be fine. Brian says, have you ever met a cheese you didn't like? What's your favourites? Well, for favourites, they're all my favourites. I love cheese. Cheese is good. As far as ones I didn't like, yeah, processed cheese. I don't like processed cheese very much. Not to be confused with the American cheese that I made, which all I did was use my own homemade cheese and added some sodium citrate to it and some water, and that softened it down, and the taste was, it was amazing. It was lovely. But don't confuse that with heavily processed cheese, which has more chemicals than, as long as your arm, the list. Where's my arm? There it is. As long as your arm. But yeah, all the rest, love them all. Every unique little delicate cheese, they're beautiful. Where are we? I've lost my spot. Yep. All right, Brian. That was from Brian. Thank you, Brian. Kevin says, Le Fin Renard is made by Fromagerie Bergeron. Okay. I've got it written down, mate. Thank you very much. Gladys says, Ehan, I think it's how you say it. Ehan Calvert says, hi. Hi, mate. Gladys says, hi again. How do I make fresh cheese with holes? You don't. The holes are a process of aging when you add propionic shamani, which is a gas-producing bacteria, into your cheese. It also gives the cheese a nutty flavour, like typical Emmentaler, that sort of Swiss cheese. You cannot make fresh cheese with holes, unfortunately. It's over a period of aging. Alex says, I continue to have problems with curds disintegrating once start stirring. Vegetable rennet better than animal rennet, non-pasteurized raw milk. I think the question is vegetable rennet better than animal rennet? Animal rennet can degrade quicker than what vegetarian rennet does. Vegetarian rennet is processed. It's still Cheeseman. It lasts for ages. I've never had any issues at all. I'm using Chimax Plus by CHR Hansen, and I have never had any issues with the strength of the rennet. Rarely do I have any issues with curd set, and if it is, it's definitely the milk. So, yeah, no, I think the vegetarian rennet last longer, but I think they're both, the flavours are comparable, I would think. Most cheeses these days, commercial ones, are used making a vegetable rennet. Rarely, only the artisan cheese makers kind of use animal rennet. Kim put the link to the Cam Blue. Thank you very much there, darling. Matt says, any tips for not eating cheese before it's done aging? I find the hardest part of making cheese is not eating it before it's ready. Well, Matt, it's a thing called patience, unfortunately. You just have to wait. That's all there is to it. So what you do is you make lots of cheese. So every week, make cheese. So once a week. And then by the time it gets around to being matured, then you'll have that one to eat. And then a week later, you'll have another one to eat. So you won't have to dip into your cheese before it's ready. Chambray24 says, it gets really hot and humid in Wisconsin summer. The humidity is very high. That's fine. Wisconsin is the cheese-making capital of the US, so it can't be too bad there. They must be doing something right there to make all that cheese, so don't let things get in your way. Give it a go. Matthew said, a kid threw a lump of cheddar at me. I thought, that's not very mature. Nice one. Kim said the dogs are tired after their walk. Yes, they are tired. Both Teddy's sleeping, and what's Holly doing now? She's moved positions, but she's still sleeping. Alex says yes to a pasta video. All right, cool. Darren says, hi, Gavin. If I use homogenized milk without adding calcium chloride, what should I expect from this? Should I use a 2% milk instead? Darren, it depends on the cheese you're making, mate. You don't actually state what the cheese is, so I don't know much more. I would, if you don't add calcium chloride when using pasteurized homogenized milk, you are going to get an extremely sloppy curd set. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. In fact, it probably won't even set at all. And if it does, it'll be like 2 hours later. So I would always add calcium chloride. If you use 2% milk, it doesn't really matter. It's still pasteurized, homogenized, heat treated, and all the fat's been broken up. Paul Taylor says, Lalvin D47 yeast. There you go. I knew somebody would know. Lalvin D47. Now, if I just get it in Australia, that would be fantastic. Okay. Drew says, hi, Gavin. I'm making your farmhouse cheddar with no pepper And compared to last week's batch, this one fills the form an extra 1/3. Any reason why? I'm using raw milk. Yes, raw milk can vary dramatically. As I mentioned before, it depends on the lactation cycle, how much fat's in the milk, how much protein's in the milk. And if it's got more fat in it, then it's going to be bigger. You're going to have more solids, milk solids in it. So that's probably some of the reason. Guile Jan, I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I mucked that up. Gavin, what do you think of cheeses that have the authentic making marks? I'm from the Netherlands, and a lot of cheese have rights like Gouda and Edama, but you can call it Gouda style and Edama style. Yeah, you can. I make variations of both those cheeses. Look, the I don't know what they call it in the Netherlands, AOC or PDO, or the certification of origin. It's through Europe, and it just protects the makers basically, that people don't copycat and try and copy and market their style of cheese. They have rules and all that sort of stuff. So look, I'm all for it really. But that's not to say that I and you and all you people watching can't make your own style of that cheese. There's no rules or regulations saying you can't. So go for it. But remember, every cheese that you make, it's not going to taste like the real deal. It's going to be a variation on that. John says, need to make pasta but not boil, put into a steamer and steam to perfection instead of being waterlogged. Indeed, I'll give that a go, John. Drew says, I'm aging cheddar in a small fridge on the lowest setting, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Will this keep the cheese from ripening? Are there any alternatives? Convert 50 Fahrenheit to Celsius.
The answer is 10 degrees Celsius.
10 degrees will be fine. It will not keep the cheese from ripening. It'll just be a little bit slower. 13's usually about the best bet, but 10's okay. So, yeah, I don't think you'll have any troubles there, Drew. Manel says, can you show how to make a super chat? Unfortunately, I can't super chat on my own channel, so I can't show how to do that. But I think Kim's got some recommendations there. Where is it? And I'll just say good day to Patrick while I'm reading that. Hello, Patrick. Manel, Kim says, Manel, there should be a little $sign at the bottom of the chat box on the right. Press the super chat button for super chat. Okay. Kim, in my country, didn't support super chat. Okay. Right. So, Manel, what you can do is, don't worry, enjoy the show. If you have a look at the description, I don't know, if you really want to super chat or do something there, Manel, down in the description below, I think there's the very first link. It says donate via what's it called? What's the name of this software I'm using? Streamlabs. There's a link to the Streamlabs, and it'll take you to PayPal. And if you want to make a donation, you can do that there. And a little thing will still come up. So on the video. But yeah, you can give that a go, Manel, if you want. Vern says, g'day, Kim and Gavin. G'day, Vern. And Adam says, best greetings from Oski Peck. I think that's how you pronounce it, country. Convenient Cheese says, what's my favourite cheese to make? All the cheeses. I just love the process. It's so good. Kim says, thanks, John. There are 55 people watching, so let's see those thumbs up, everybody. Everybody loves a good thumbs up. What have I got? 29 thumbs ups. But yeah, if you don't want to, that's fine. I don't mind. Alex says, thank you, Kim and Gavin. Good luck with the surgery. We will be missing you both. Thanks, mate. I know that's heartfelt. Yeah, we're going to be taking it very easy next week. So, Patricia says, BC. What's BC? We love the Cheeseman. I don't know what BC means, mate. Sorry, old bloke. What else? Medi. I think that's how you say it. Hello, I'm from Algiers. I'm doing a cheese training. I want to give me your opinion if I am committed and the manufacturer of soft cheese wear a hard dough. Thanks very much. Nope. Don't know what you're talking about there. Sorry. I can't really understand what you're saying. Alex says, I tried again, super chat, hit the button, buy and send, and then the whole chat goes blank and my message disappears. Oh, don't know, Alex, what's going on there, mate? Because you're a member and it's the same thing. I think anybody, where you can be a member, you can super chat. So not sure what's going on there at all. People in the past have had issues, so don't worry about it, mate. It's okay. A cult Nino says, thanks for your advice and time, Kim and Gavin. Have a wonderful night. Thanks, mate. David says, just made your Stilton and started to grow mold within the first 4 days. Is this normal? Indeed it is. Usually between 4 and 6 days, you start seeing a little bit of blue on the outside of your Stilton. So that's all good. So, yeah, don't worry about that, David. It'll turn out amazing. Stilton is just, it's delicious. John Salt says B/C means because. Okay, thanks for that. Alex says, I gave mine, but here are some more thumbs. Kim and Gavin, simply the best. Thank you, mate. Convenient Cheese says, how long does it take to master cheese? Oh, good question. Depends on how quick you can learn, I suppose, and how much practice you get. Because perfect practice makes perfect. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, I've been making cheese since 2009, so 10 years to get to where I'm at. So, yeah, it'll take you some time. Oh, we've got a super chat here. Who's this from? Get rid of that light. Oh, it's from Chris B. Thank you, Chris. So, Chris says, hi, Gavin. I have half vac-packed Kafili, and it's starting to liquefy. Ooh, any clue? First half we had was fine. Was going to age the other half longer. Kafili doesn't really age very well, Chris, because it's very soft in the middle. And, yeah, it probably will start to weep after you've cut it. So probably not a good thing to keep trying to age it. So eat it as quick as you can, mate. Yeah, so either that or put it into the normal fridge, and that should slow down maturation. Kafili is one of those cheeses where it kind of needs the rind intact. So by cutting it in half, a lot of the moisture will come out. Sorry about that. Christina says, thanks, Gavin. I'll try mozzarella cheese at home. So creamy and delicious. I come from Indonesia. God bless you. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, the mozzarella, I would try the traditional mozzarella. If you can't figure out how to do the quick mozzarella, it's a bit of an art, that one. I would give traditional mozzarella a go. Okay. Christina Erickson says, hi, I'm from Sweden. I love your videos. Thanks very much, Christina. How much time we got? Yeah, we got 7 minutes. So Sadie says, can I use butter to top up the fat content of milk? No suitable cream available in Turkey. All contains thickeners. No, you can't use butter, unfortunately. Butter is just fat, and it's not the kind of fat that will incorporate into the milk. It'll just float on top, unfortunately. Manel says, I love your working and want to support you. Thanks, Manel. But yeah, that link down below is probably the best way to do it. John says, I think he was talking about kefir or yogurt. Think about using kefir or yogurt. Yeah, that's probably best. That's about the only way you're going to be able to thicken up your milk. Alex says, any cheeses from Argentina? Oh, they're all cheeses I've never heard of. I'll write them down at the end of the show. but I'll have to have a look. Most of them will probably either be in Argentina. Do they do Spanish or Portuguese? I cannot remember. But either way, I'll have to translate anything I find on YouTube. Maddie says, "I'm doing cheese training. I want you to give me your opinion. If I produce soft cheese, where has hard dough? What's the easiest?" You want to produce a soft cheese, okay? Try ricotta. What's another one? Another soft cheese, ricotta, paneer. Try feta. That's a soft cheese. Even though it's a bit crumbly. But yeah, there's lots of recipes. Go and check out the channel. You'll find some, and you'll be able to copy them. Krogan says, "Hi, Gavin. Any way you could show us how to make a cheese called Blue Brain cheese? It's a bloomy cheese from Switzerland. Blue Brain cheese. I'll have a look. Brain cheese. I'm sure it's got a technical name, but I'll have a look. Homesteading the Pioneer Way. Hi, Gavin, and everyone from MS. What's MS? It's a state. Not sure what the state name is, but yeah. Thank you and welcome, even though it's the end of the show. Drew says, Bruce says, become a patron and donate every month. Yeah, there's a Patreon link down there. If you want to support the show, you can do it via Patreon. And Kim's put the Patreon link there. Thank you, Kim. Also, the YouTube memberships. And lots more countries have got them now. There's a join button down below. And you get early access to the videos. Usually I put them up a couple of days before I release them. So all the YouTube members and patrons get them early. Patricia says, Gavin, I think he said, maybe ask you what is the easiest hard firm cheese to make. The easiest hard cheese to make is Caerphilly. So give that a go. Or even, Caerphilly. Always. I recommend people make that. It's so easy in it's 3 months ago. Jim Jackson says MN means Minnesota. What's MS then? I'm not sure. Anyway, end of the show now. MS is Mississippi. All right. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. All right. That's the end of the show. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Kim's putting up some links now. If you want to buy supplies and stuff like that, you can always pop over to, if I can do it, Little Green Workshops. There it is. So littlegreenworkshops.com.au is the URL, and that's what you'll see when you get there. And you go to the cheese making section, and there you go. There's all your bits for buying. There's kits, molds, accessories, Rennet, equipment, baskets, ingredients, books, and merch. Like the merch I'm wearing, which is, what's the merch? What's the T-shirt? I didn't even look at the T-shirt. Keep calm and make cheese. Indeed. Title of my book, even. Anyway, so that's all cool. And don't forget that if you want to pick up any of the merch, then there's a merch shelf down below somewhere. Or you can go over to teespring/store/CheesemanTV. But yeah, all cool. Thank you so much, everybody. And that'll do for the show, I think. And without your questions, there wouldn't have been a show. So thank you for asking them all. And I really enjoy week on week all the questions that you ask. There's always some new ones. So it's all very good fun. Anyway, we'll sign off and we will see you. Are we doing a show on Saturday, Kim? Let me know what she says. Take care, everybody. See you on Saturday. Yes, okay. We are doing a show on Saturday, but there'll be no shows next Wednesday, next Saturday, and we'll see about next Wednesday. If Kim's feeling okay, I will schedule a live stream, so you'll be able to see the live streams that I've scheduled in advance. But anyway, thanks for watching, Curd Nerds, and I'll see you next time. Oh, where's the end screen? There it is.